It's Team of the Year, guys, so if you want to have a chance of getting one but you don't want to spend your kidney on FIFA points, be sure to check out MMOXP.com. Their link is down in the description. They're fast, cheap and reliable, and if you use my code REMA, you will get 5% off your order. So what's up guys, my name's Ash and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video guys, I've got some custom tactics and player instructions for one of my favourite formations at the moment, which is the 4-3-3 fourth variation. It's just super good in attack and it's also very good defensively. I've been really enjoying it when the narrow formations haven't been cutting it for me, and yeah, I hope you guys do like this one. But just before we get into today's video, I'd very much appreciate it if you could drop this video a thumbs up, as that does really help with the YouTube search algorithm. Also subscribe to the channel if you are new so you never miss out on any videos like this one, and obviously don't forget to turn on those notifications so you are notified when a video is posted. And yeah, if you do want those FIFA coins guys, make sure you do check out the link in the description and use my code REMA for 5% off if you do want those cheaper FIFA coins. And with all that aside guys, let's get right into today's video. Okay guys, so starting off with the custom tactics, for the defensive style I like to use balance. The reason I like using balance is because it gives you the most control in your defense. You can press when you need to press, and you can be a bit more conservative and drop off when you need to as well. So if you are good at defending, balance is super good because it does give you great control. If you do like using pressure tactics like press after possession loss, press on heavy touch, or even constant pressure, you can go right ahead, but I do suggest getting used to balanced if you can, because it is much better when you learn how to use it. Now moving on to the defensive width guys, I like to have this on 42. This is because FIFA 23 is primarily a narrow game, but obviously people do like to go down the wings, so by having this on 42 we get good like central coverage of the pitch when we're defending, but at the same time our players are able to reach those wide areas when they need to, so it does fit the meta of this game very well. Now moving on to depth guys, I like to have this on 60 because again we can win the ball higher up the pitch when we need to, but at the same time it's a bit better for defending those through balls than a much higher depth. So yeah, 60 is a nice balance with this formation. I think you can win the ball high up the pitch sometimes, but at the same time you're not constantly getting through balled. Now moving on to build up play guys, I suggest using balance. This is because it suits you up for the most types of FIFA 23 gameplay you will experience, because as you know FIFA 23 very inconsistent with its gameplay. You can have fast and laggy, you can have slow and laggy, you can have yeah, there's so many different types guys, so having it on balance suits you up for the different types of gameplay you will experience. Now moving on to chance creation guys, as always I suggest direct passing. The reason for this is if you look at the diagram in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, you can see the white dots, which are your attacking players. They're constantly moving around in that dynamic motion to break through the defensive line to allow you to create chances. If you look at something like balance, this really doesn't happen. Your players are quite static and they don't offer much support, so I do suggest using direct passing as it is super good for creating those chances. Now moving on to attacking width guys, because the 4-3-3 is obviously a wider formation, you don't want to get sucked into using too much of a narrow depth. So what I do is I just have this bang in the middle on 50 because it's the most balanced. You have the width with the wingers, but at the same time your wingers aren't too far apart from the rest of your team to the point where they're not, you know, involved in the attack. So having this on 50 keeps the formation in a nice shape, keeps your players a nice distance away from each other, so the formation functions as intended. If you have the width too low, it can play a bit like a 4-3-2-1, which you don't really want. So I suggest just having this on 50. Now moving on to players in box guys, I just like to have this bang in the middle. I have this on 5. The reason being is I like to create chances of course, but at the same time I don't want to overcommit my whole team and get counter attacked, so having it on 5 bang in the middle just seems to be the most balanced for me. But if you want to up it or lower it even more, that is completely up to you guys. Now moving on to corners and free kicks, I just have these on 1 because I don't really cross the ball from set pieces anymore. I mainly just take them short, so it doesn't really make sense for me to get loads of players in the box, and this is just the most defensively sound option. That being said, if you want to up the corners and free kicks you can, but yeah, I just leave them on 1. Now for the players you want to use guys, in the striker position, because this is a one striker formation, I do suggest going for a well-rounded striker, somebody with like a 5-star weak foot, somebody that's able to dribble, shoot, you know, even pass, basically do a bit of everything, because you have to compensate for the fact that there is only one striker instead of 2. That being said, if you want to use like a lengthy play like Haaland or something like that, someone that's very one-dimensional, you can if you feel more comfortable doing that. Now for the 2 wingers, very self-explanatory, you just need to use winger style players. players with pace, players that have got the skills, players that can cross, players that can shoot, pass, basically do a bit of everything that a winger needs to do. If your wingers aren't that good, you might struggle using this formation a little bit. Moving on to the cam, you just need to use a nice technical player, someone that can dribble, shoot, pass. Really agile is probably the best option you can go for, as they can wriggle into those spaces and really help create those chances for you. For the two centre mids, I suggest box to box players. I'm using Flashback Pogba and Park Ji-sung. The ideal work rates for these two players are a high work rate, as they're going to be attacking and defending, but don't worry too much if you can't get that. A high medium or a medium is also fine, but yeah, go for like two box to box players in these positions. Now, as for the fullbacks, I kind of just go for a bit of a balance. I have Roberto Carlos, who's a bit more technical on the ball, and then I have Cafu, who's a bit more defensively solid at times. So I just like having the balance between the two fullbacks. That being said, if you want like two, technical players in the fullback positions, go ahead. If you want two really defensive players, that's also fine. I just prefer to have a balance. As for the centre backs and goalkeeper, these just need to be as good as you can get them. And yeah, I'm just using Chesney for chemistry. For player instructions, guys, on the striker, I literally just change him to stay central. The only reason for this is I don't need this player drifting off to the wings. We've already got wingers in those positions, so we need him to stay central in case the cross does come in, of course, or if we just want to play the ball into the middle, we always have somebody there. Super important that we have him on stay central, otherwise he gets drifted off into random positions, which we don't want. Some people like using getting behind, but I prefer mixed attack because we've only got one striker, so you don't just want him to be one-dimensional. You might need him to do a bit of everything. So sometimes with mixed attack, he'll come a little bit deeper. Other times he might just run a little bit further in behind. So it is a nice balance that I like to have on this striker. As for the two wingers, I suggest get into the box for cross and get in behind. The reason for this is if you don't have them on get into the box for cross, sometimes they don't really get involved in the attack and you can struggle to create chances. By having them on get into the box for cross, they will make those transitional runs to get more involved. They will make those runs into the penalty box. Doesn't mean you have to cross the ball to them. You could play it short. It just gives them the instructions to actually make the runs into the box to get more involved. Getting behind just means they're constantly going to be darting down the wing, which is super important because these are like your runners. You need them to do this. You need them to go down the wing. So getting behind, super important on both of the wingers. As for the cam, guys, I just have him on get into the box for cross. This is just so he gets more involved in the attack. There's not really much to say here. I leave everything else alone because I don't like to restrict him too much. I like having the balanced instructions on him. As for the two like box to box centre mids, guys, I just suggest cover centre. The reason for this is we need them to cover those central areas, as that's where a lot of the passes come through, and we've already got two wide players on each side to cover the wings, so we don't need them to do that. We leave everything else alone because they're going to attack, they're going to defend. We want them to do a bit of everything. So this is why I said the high work rate's super good, because they're going to be contributing a lot in attack and defense. If you're struggling defensively with this formation, with your more defensive centre mid, you could put one of them on stay back while attacking, so you have additional defensive support. But if you are pretty confident in your defense, you can have them both on balanced attack. Moving on to the fullbacks, I just have them both on stay back while attacking. In some formations, I do commit my fullbacks up the pitch, but that's usually for narrow formations where we need extra width. In this formation, we've already got the width, so we don't really need that. We can have them to stay back while attacking, so we're a bit more defensively sound. As for the centre backs and goalkeeper, I just leave them alone completely. But yeah, guys, that is everything for the video. If you have enjoyed or found this useful, I'd very much appreciate it if you could drop it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, so you never miss out on any videos like this one, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you are notified when a video is posted. And also, guys, if you do want those FIFA coins for Team of the Year, make sure you check the link out in the description and use my code Rema for 5% off your orders. That supports me, it supports the channel, and yeah, you get those coins. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.